All right, turning now to the border. During the cabinet meeting earlier today, President Trump touted his immigration and border crackdown.
In a few short weeks, we've achieved the most secure border in American history by far, 99.9%, which is a number that nobody thought was doable. For 2 months in a row, we have set the all-time records for the lowest number of illegal border crossings ever recorded.
A New York Post report is adding new evidence to the list against Abrego Garcia, adding to the Post a newly obtained court document from 2018 that accuses him of being an MS-13 gang member. Last night, in his interview with ABC, President Trump sparred with journalist Terry Moran over the Abrego Garcia case. Watch.
The person that you're talking about, you're making this person sound, this is a MS-13 gang member, a tough cookie, been in lots of skirmishes, beat the hell out of his wife, and the wife was petrified to even talk about him, okay? This is not an innocent, wonderful gentleman from Maryland. He said he wasn't a member of a gang. And then they looked, and on his knuckles, he had MS-13.
There's a dispute.
Okay, here with reaction, former DHS senior advisor, Newsmax contributor Charles Marino, plus president of Guard Against Trafficking, Ali Hopper. Good to see you both. Charles, I'm going to start with you. Something also I noticed that Terry Moran kept bringing up was the fact that he was asking President Trump about, due process, which Garcia had already got due process. Twice in this country, we have mentioned. But then he was talking about the 21 million plus illegals, not U.S. citizens, getting that, trying to create this narrative of court hearings for every single one of them, stalling the entire process in general. You would make it so Trump couldn't even do the job of getting these people out of here.
Yeah, let's cut to the chase. We've spoken about this before. When the left talks about due process, what they're talking about is ultimately amnesty. That's their version of due process in all of this. Whether these are public safety threats, terrorism threats, or those that just came into the country illegally to begin with, they want them to stay here. That's who they're willing to hang their hat on. And we talk about Garcia being the poster child for the Democratic Party. If it wasn't him, it would have been another gang member that they were coming up to defend. They are on the wrong side of this. They're doing everything that they can, along with the judiciary, to undercut the policies of the Trump administration. He's still having resounding results. Imagine if Democrats and the judiciary weren't undercutting him the way he was to remove these dangerous threats from the country.
Ali, do you think that these Democrats really just want to thwart President Trump or do whatever they can to make him look like a bad person, a bad president? Or do you think there's actually something more there and they want these illegal immigrants, even if they are dangerous, to remain in our country, and why?
That's a great question, Katrina. Honestly, Jeffries is scrambling with him discouraging Democrats going down to El Salvador to advocate for gang members like Garcia. They are trying to cover up the fact that they led to the highest level of human trafficking the United States has ever seen. They are prioritizing criminals over their communities, and I am just so proud of this administration and President Trump for removing the threats, keeping American citizens safe, and tuning out the virtue signaling and the political theater that is going on right now on the left.
Chuck, I guess the administration has brought this up, as many other people have, of getting back to the question. Tom Homan brings this up a lot. Why all these people were let into our country? I don't think we talk enough about that.
Yeah. Well, it's to change the demographics of the Democratic Party so that they can redistrict and that they could ultimately participate in the vote. We've said this very early on. There's no other reason that the Biden administration and Democratic Party would allow this to happen other than that. So they showed their hand very early on. They're willing to sacrifice American lives as part of their overall plan to retain power for as long as they could. And they were willing to change drastically the population of the country to achieve that.
Ali, final thoughts.
I just wanted to let your viewers know that HSI has recently reported looking for the 350,000 plus missing children. Of the 100,000 that they were tasked with looking for, they were only able to locate 5%. This is horrific. This is a direct result of the previous administration's lack of concern for our country, our borders, and our laws. And so what President Trump and his administration needs is our full support.
All right. Thanks for calling that out for us. Allie Hopper, Charles Marino, great conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, on the border front, the Department of Justice